What's up everybody? My name is Harry Lyles and I'm going to walk you through my 2023 KX250X garage build. So Kawasaki, huge pedigree in off-road racing. From Baja, National Hare and Hounds, GNCC, Works Racing, you name it, they got a championship under their belt. So I was really excited when Kawasaki brought back their off-road lineup. And the changes for the 2023, identical off of the motocross version of this motorcycle, honestly make this thing an absolute ripper. You wouldn't might think it, there's a lot of competition out there in the marketplace. A lot of people, you know, they're on KTMs, they're on Huskies, they're on a gas, maybe even the Yamaha. You're not seeing a whole lot of green out there, and I'm here to change your mind. This thing is absolutely insane, from the power to the handling and to the price. That's a huge thing these days. Motorcycles these days, when you're walking out of a dealership, you're dropping $10,000 or more, and they're not even modded, they're fully stock. So we're gonna walk through this thing and I'm gonna take you piece by piece for this garage build, and might change your mind and for you purchasing a Kawasaki in your future. I have about 30 hours on this thing right now and I'm pretty well acquainted with it, and I was really surprised. This thing is awesome. Sure, it doesn't have all the stock components that maybe an Austrian OEM has, but after just a couple $100 of just putting some minor things like a skid plate and handguards and a little bit bigger gas tank, this thing is ready to go shred. You can go hit single track all day with your buddies, never get tired, not gonna be a jerky 4-stroke, or you're not gonna run out of gas if you're on a 2-stroke. And a 250F is absolutely fantastic for the tighter stuff. And I was really surprised. This thing has just so much power. You don't need the raw horsepower. I mean, I'm only 150 pounds. I don't need all that motorcycle. The 250F, even if you're a serious racer or just like a regular trail rider, weekend warrior, I think the 250F, especially this KX250X for the price point, would be a really solid choice and investment for any hardcore off-road enthusiast. This thing is based off the 2023 KX250 motocross version, so you're getting the same motor package and transmissions package as the MX bike. So that means you're gonna have that longer first gear, that longer second gear, which honestly, I was a little concerned before I rode it when I heard all those engineering specs, but out here, it actually works really awesome. So the engineers, they changed the location of the dual injector. They also straightened out the airbox, so the intake has a lot more straighter and better flow. So you can see that from the 2022 version and the 2023 version, the difference in torque and horsepower. Also for 2023, they added a little bit heavier flyweight. When you're looking for traction, especially when things get dry or slippery, you're gonna want that little bit heavier flywheel, and that 2023 has it. Also, they made the header pipe 100 millimeters longer. So that's gonna help with that top end power. I mean, this thing you can already rev to the moon, but you can really stretch out those gears when you're coming into a corner really hot, or you're just being a little bit lazy and you don't want to shift into third. You can just scream it all the way from the bottom to the top. So let me take you through the parts I chose for this garage build. So in the protection department, I went with the Acerbis. I mean, the name's synonymous with aftermarket handguards, skid plates, chain guides, you name it, they got it. So for the drivetrain, I kept the countershaft sprocket stock, but for the rear, I went with a Renthal with the steel tooth, just for longevity and to help last longer. So I took off the stock chain and I immediately put a D.I.D chain. These things look good and the wear performance on it is unmatched. With the gas tank, yeah, this thing came stock with a 1.5 tank, and that's not gonna get you a whole lot of riding. So I went with the Acerbis 2.5, and I could do 70 miles on this thing, no problem. For some bling on this bike, my buddy Chris at FCP Racing, he let me try some of his engine mounts. And the performance is actually there. I've never really tried engine mounts before. I've never done any chassis testing, but you can really feel a difference in the way that your bike handles. It just gives it a little bit less busy feeling. I have Works Connection radiator braces, because we all know when you're riding off-road and you tip over, there's gonna be that precarious rock sticking out of nowhere that's just gonna gouge those things and squish them. So the last mod I did on this thing, and I wish I did it sooner, was the PC pipe. This Pro Circuit T6 pipe, not only does it look good, it's lighter than the stock, it makes your bike quieter, and the performance, it's marginal, but it's there. I feel a little bit more on the bottom end to mid. So let's talk about the pros and cons about this 2023 KX250X. Right off the bat, this bike is fast. Straight up, it is fast. It's just like the motocross version of this bike, same engine, same ECU, same transmission, and they didn't dumb this thing down like a lot of off-road bikes. This thing isn't stuffed up. This thing doesn't have anything weird in the intake to make this thing slow. This thing is fast. The suspension, everybody knows the KYB stuff is probably some of the best stuff out there. It's supple off the top, plenty of bottoming resistance, and just overall comfort, and the tunability and the ease it takes to set up this motorcycle is bar none. Chassis comfort. If you've ever ridden a steel frame bike and gone to the aluminum, you know what I'm talking about. The motocross magazines, they all rave and that the Kawasaki chassis has the best comfort out of all the other brands. The price. I built this thing for $1,800 with all the parts. That $1,800 equivalates to that stock KTM that you can get out the door for $10,600, and that thing is stock. So cons, no, it doesn't have handguards. No, it doesn't have a real protective skid plate. It comes with a little one that sits in between the frame rails and covers a water pump, but you're gonna take that thing right off and put a legit skid plate on there. The gas tank, yeah, it comes with a small gas tank, 1.5 gallons. The same one that's on the motocross bike. If you're a serious off-road racer, you're gonna swap one, whatever motorcycle that you choose. So I went the Acerbis one, $210 on Rocky Mountain for a little bit bigger gas tank, and I can get 70 miles out of this thing. So one thing I didn't like was the chain guide. I don't know if it's the rocky terrain here, but I ripped that sucker right off. You can always throw an aftermarket one. TM Designs makes an awesome one. Acerbis makes an awesome one. You got your options. So I would swap that out immediately. Last thing I would say is a con on this motorcycle, no sixth gear. Yeah, you might not use it for the races or the trail riding that you're doing, but from all my desert racing, a sixth gear is really nice. You don't have to gear your bike all crazy and have gaps in between the gears, but where you live and what you're racing, it might not dictate, or you might even need that sixth gear. If you're just doing local hair scrambles, enduros, maybe some GPs, fifth gear is just fine. And that wraps up the 2023 KX250X garage build video. I think to sum it all up, this motorcycle is so much fun to ride. Don't pass up on the Kawasaki. I think it would be a great bike for anyone to ride, race, trail ride, whatever you're doing out there, you would love it. If you have any questions, please leave a comment in the comments below, and thanks for watching.